Dubious ones, welcome back to the channel. Today we have some very exciting news as Marvel vs. Capcom is back. Capcom just made the huge announcement that we are getting the Marvel vs. Capcom collection. So let's take a look.
Ones, we back in the building. We've been gone for a minute.
The legendary crossover hits are back. Journey across space and time. So we're getting X-Men Children of the Atom. Fantastic game for those who hadn't played. The originator of them all. We're getting Marvel Superheroes, which was the follow-up. Another fantastic game. A lot of fun. Set the table for what was to come. Then we got X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Oh, one of my favorites. One of the best in the whole series, for sure. Just the character selection in this game was incredible. Obviously, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was the best, but then we got Marvel vs. Street Fighter. You lost some characters, you got some other characters. It was fun. Definitely an incredible game in its own right. Marvel vs. Capcom here. Sorry, Marvel vs. Capcom 1. Marvel vs. Street Fighter or Marvel vs. Capcom, I don't know out of the two which one I really liked better. They were both incredible games, but Marvel vs. Capcom 2, this was everyone's favorite. This was the game. When I was in elementary school and then in high school, this whole series blew my mind. I used to play down at the local 7-Eleven by my school after school in elementary school all the time, playing those games when they came out. I think the one I had the most time with was probably Marvel vs. Capcom 1 before MVC 2 came out. But we're getting all these games. What's cool is we get all the different music from the original games, which is very cool. So you're getting the arcade ports of all these games. You're getting sneak peek at different development docs and never before seen art, which is really, really cool. Here you get a training mode, as we are very familiar with in fighting games now, but for these games is absolutely incredible to get frame data. You get your throw recoveries, you have all the different settings you can change for the dummy, for the AI and everything that you would have in your fighting games now. Like seeing all this, getting to see the hitboxes and the inputs and the timing and everything, absolutely incredible. That is a game changer to me. One button specials, this to me is giving you like a similar to like a modern controls feel almost, where you can set one button specials up to make the game a little bit easier for yourself. That is pretty neat. I think that's a pretty cool feature that they're adding. You can save your progress as if you were playing this on MAME or like an arcade emulator, where you can like playing on an emulator where you can save state and load state. That is super handy when you're playing, you know, Onslaught or any of the big bosses were always a pain in the neck. So that's really, really cool. This, I guess you get the marquee cards that gave you their basic like attacks and how to do them and stuff. Pretty cool. Pretty neat. Long awaited online features. This is the biggest selling feature to me, obviously, for these games, is you're getting like a ranked mode. You're getting to be able to play these matches online with other players who are going to get this. And this is so huge. Getting MVC2, like, I don't think a lot of you may understand, like, to be able to play Marvel vs. Capcom 2 online now is incredible. The rest of the games is huge, but MVC2, like, has such a cult following. This game was so crazy, and the fact that they have, like, high score challenges and stuff for just stuff like that, so you can go casual matches, you got your ranked matches, you can do custom matches, you got a ranked leaderboard, that's really nice. High score challenge, high score leaderboard, that is super, super neat. So that is awesome. Cool, they added the Punisher game. This is such huge news, you guys. This is for any fighting game fans who were playing fighting games in the 90s and the early 2000s. These were in every arcade. And we're getting it this year, 2024. Coming out, it's advertised for PlayStation, the Nintendo Switch, and Steam. From what I read, though, it is not going to have crossplay. So if you're playing on PlayStation, you only get to play PlayStation players. Same with the Switch. and same with Steam players. You don't see many games that have crossplay with the Switch, so that doesn't hugely surprise me, but it is a little bit disappointing as for myself, I'd be getting this on Steam because I don't have a PlayStation, and I know that fractures me from a large segment of the player base that'll be playing on PlayStation, which is a little unfortunate. But you can see the games we're getting in these titles. We're getting X-Men Children of the Atom, the one that started it all. Very, very cool. Originally released in '94, and you're getting the ROM version from Japan or USA. Take control of X-Men and their fantastic powers in this game based on Street Fighter II. Super jumps, combos, plenty of freedom are sure to please any fighting game player. And this game was absolutely incredible for its time when it first released. I was a little kid. I was like 8 years old when this 7 years old when this game came out, and it was just amazing being able to play, like growing up with the X-Men cartoon as a kid and being able to play a fighting game with them and having like Akuma in it weirdly was like so cool, so very awesome. So we get changes from the originals as well. We're getting Juggernaut and Magneto are now playable in this game. They can access via the game settings. In the EX settings, hidden characters, and you can now turn down the screen flashing if you like. For those photosensitive viewers, you're able to turn down the screen flashing on this games, which is a huge deal for a lot of players. While a lot of players can't play fighting games now, like I know my brother even told me he has light sensitivity to this stuff, and he told me that he can't play Street Fighter 6 just because it's just too much of a strobe show, too much crazy lighting and stuff like that. And I don't know if you can how to reduce that, if you can in Street Fighter 6 or not. I actually haven't looked into that, but the fact that you are for these games is really huge and just helps for more players, more ease of use, or more friendly towards players who otherwise wouldn't be able to play the game. So let's take a look here. We're getting Marvel Superheroes. Did we get any secret characters in that? So this was released in September of '96. Get some cool screenshots here. The character select screen. So you got Hulk, Wolverine, Spider-Man, Magneto, Juggernaut. I forget that guy's name. Shumagarath, Captain America, Psylocke, and Iron Man. This game, again, same thing. Was so much fun. Played it so much in the arcades when I was a kid. And you're getting access, it looks like, to the hidden characters that were never playable before. Doctor Doom, Thanos, and Anita are now playable. That was only available through ROM hacks and stuff, so that is super cool. They can be accessed via the game settings, EX hidden characters, so same as the last game, and the same thing, you can do the light reduction for the screen flashes and stuff. That's pretty cool. And then let's take a look at X-Men versus Street Fighter. I don't know if there's any secret characters in this one. Take a quick look at the character select screen. This one had a beautiful roster from both games. I wish Blanka was in this game. I feel like Blanka really would have fit in against like Wolverine. That would have been a fun matchup, Blanka versus Wolverine. But you couldn't get that matchup, I don't think, until Marvel versus Capcom 2. But this was very, very cool. As you can see, the sprites for the Street Fighter guys coming from Street Fighter the Alpha series. I think that might be why Blanka wasn't in, because he wasn't in that game. Same thing with Guile. He wasn't in the original Alpha games. You had Charlie instead. So that made sense. So it looks like you are getting Akuma here, changes from the original. I guess you could already play him in the game. So no secret characters in this one. But in Marvel versus Street Fighter, I know there was some secret characters. So let's take a look at the fun character select screen. Cool stuff, very cool. And we get Cyber Akuma is now playable. Select solo Cyber Akuma battle to access him. So I don't know if that means he's not available to play online or not, or how that works. If you're having to select Cyber Akuma battle to access him, I wonder if that excludes him from online play or not. That's interesting, because otherwise I'm sure everybody will play him because he's cheap AF. If he's got his full damage and everything, Cyber Akuma was a hell of a boss. Very difficult to beat. And again, same thing, you can turn down the screen flashing, which is very, very cool. Let's take a look at Marvel versus Capcom. Did we get, cool, you get some story, some lore, very cool here. This released originally in January of '98. Very, very neat character select screen. As you can see, this game did have a bunch of hidden characters. As you can actually see one of the Dark Chung-Lees here that were in the game. They also had U.S. Agent instead of Captain America. They had a bunch of them. Roll here was also a secret character. It's not stating any of the hidden characters are there, but I'm sure you could probably play them. Like, I think in this version, Ryu had 3 different costumes you could access. I think you had to use a special to actually in-game to turn into them, and you could turn into a darker gi Ryu representing Akuma, and then you'd have Akuma's moves, or a red gi and you would be representing Ken. If you did that, that was really cool. There was US Agent for Captain America, and there's some other secret characters. There was the darker Zangief, and the darker Chun we even see, which is why I think for sure they're going to be there. You can see her right there. But yeah, there's no other pictures of any of the other secret characters, but I'm assuming they'll probably be in there. Because in the game, you could actually just access them by default. Like, they weren't like hidden locked to the game. You could actually access them by putting in different inputs for that game. So it's probably just going to work the same as that, I would guess. And that's why they're not there. Like, for these games, you just could not play as Juggernaut before, or sorry, wrong game. But in these games, you couldn't actually play as some of the characters that had the unlocks. I did it again. Yeah, in the original games, you couldn't play as Doctor Doom, Thanos, or Anita at all. There was no codes or inputs to do them. So I think that's why it's different. Whereas Marvel vs. Capcom, you had actually inputs in the arcade that you could do to access those extra characters. So it'll probably be the same way to access them, I'm guessing. And then we had Marvel vs. Capcom 2, the biggest game. This is the biggest news right here. The biggest piece of the news here. We're getting this back. You get a little bit of the backstory here. Overview of the game. Very, very cool. This game had such a massive roster, which was absolutely incredible. This game, of course, released on the Dreamcast and I believe the PlayStation 2 as well, and maybe the 360 at one point. But we are getting the actual proper arcade port, which is amazing. So as you can see, this game had a massive roster. You had Bone Claw. You had 2 versions of Wolverine because Marvel wanted to put in Bone Claw Wolverine. Or maybe Capcom wanted to put in Bone Claw Wolverine. And he has certain different supers and abilities than regular Wolverine. But Capcom, or I guess Marvel, insisted that you had to have regular Wolverine in there. So they put them both in there for that reason. That's why you have 2 versions, is because Capcom wanted Bone Claws, and Marvel insisted on having regular Wolverine in there. So they are actually slightly different. I never knew that growing up, that they had a different supers and movesets. I just knew one of them, I think it was Bone Claw, didn't have the Weapon X super. So I never picked him because it was like one less super. I'm like, why would I be this Wolverine then? But I think they have different damage values and stuff, and a few things that do separate or set them apart. But this is very cool. Screen flashing you can turn down, which is obviously a very good added feature. Platforms it's coming to, we're getting it for the Switch, the PlayStation, and Steam. Guessing if it's PS4, obviously it'll be compatible with PS5 and Steam. And you can play online up to 9 players on some of the games. That's super cool. Obviously, we're also getting the bonus of the Punisher game, which is just crazy that they're just throwing in the fun beat-em-up released in '93 originally. I remember playing this in the arcades as well. This was a lot of fun. One of those old arcade beat-em-ups. One of the originals was quite fun. You get to pick from either the Punisher or Nick Fury. It was 2 players, and as we could see, they were online. Oh, and it's got the Kingpin in it. Very cool. I remember this game from when I was very, very young. Some images used in the ending of the game in the Japanese version have been removed. Oh, there must have been some maybe politically incorrectness or something, maybe, I don't know, something that could be upsetting to audiences now that wasn't back in '93, who knows. But something got removed, that's kind of funny. But yeah, and you can turn down the light reduction on these as well, which is very cool. So everybody, this is like huge. Huge, huge, huge features. Let's take a look at the new features. We're getting online play. This, to me, being by far the biggest addition that they've put into the game. Enjoy playing with people from all over the world, whether casually or competitively. So you can have casual matches, ranked matches, or have your own custom matches where you can play with friends. That's very cool. The Punisher, you've got online co-op, or you can spectate, so I guess you can watch your friends play. Interesting. You've got the high score challenge, so that's pretty cool. Complete with other players. For the highest score under set rules, try for the spot at the top of the leaderboards. You can play co-op high score challenge for the Punisher by selecting event mode from a custom match lobby. So that's cool. crossplay between platforms is not supported. That is probably the saddest part to me. I wish it had crossplay, but unfortunately not. Where were we? We ended up going down too far. High score, yeah. Crossplay not supported. Internet connection is required to access this content. Nintendo Switch Online if you have, or PlayStation Plus is required for the online modes for those platforms. You've got the training mode, which is very cool, which we never ever had for any of these games. So that's really cool. So you can do your testing here. You can check your frame data, find out all the different combos. You can set the different actions you want everybody sitting on. So that's very cool. So very, very exciting stuff there. And yeah, you can set your recordings. Pretty much everything we get from training modes in like Street Fighter games now, like Street Fighter 6. So that's really cool. You got a marquee cards that they had on the original actual arcade cabinets. That's pretty cool. You get quality of life features. A number of features have been added to help you enjoy the game included in this collection. So we've got looks just like I remember. Used display filters to recreate the visuals as you experience them on the arcade. You can also adjust the display size to your preference. Oh, that's really cool. So you can have like scan lines and stuff, and you can stretch the screen or not to have it stretched, to have it in its original sizing and stuff like that. So that's really cool. Hop in and out, so you have pause or unpause single player content as you play. You can also easily retry difficult fights. So you have a quick save button there. So it's basically like you could on emulators, just save your state and load your state, which is very cool. Take on challenges, earn fighter award challenges available for each included game. Awesome. And beginners welcome. Enjoy a number of features for both new and returning players. So one button specials, so you can set up in your control settings, I guess, different characters, whatever, customize your button layout as you please. With a setting for simple one button specials if you struggle with inputs. Note, one button specials cannot be used in ranked matches. Okay, so there it is right there. You can't use the one button specials online, so there's really no sense in using them at all then. If you can't really use them in ranked, that kind of, for me, defeats the purpose. I was hoping it was just going to be kind of like a modern control settings that they have in Street Fighter 6. Difficulty settings. Levels can be adjusted for single player games. Get past the one fight or level that is giving you trouble. Cool. So you can change the difficulty settings considering it's ports from the arcade. That is super handy. And you've got gallery and sound, view and design, documents, posters, and instruction cards. Listen to all the music that make up the games you love. That's really cool that they're including all of that. You get some really cool custom art. That's awesome. That's really cool. I love that. Marvel vs. Capcom Arcade Classics. So that is really, really exciting, you guys. This game definitely, for me, helped shape my love for fighting games in the late 90s and early 2000s. Like Marvel vs. Capcom 2. This, and this as well. It's not zooming in. But this, can we open the image in a new tab? No, I just wanted to get a better look at this beautiful background they have here. That's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. But one button EX, yeah, you can't use that in ranked. We looked at the new features. So yeah, that looks like it's covered just about everything. I am very, very excited for this. It says it's coming out this year. That is super neat. This image, super cool. You've got Dr. Doom here with M. Bison or Dictator, depending on your region. I remember those guys from Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I forget what they were called, but that character was quite hilarious. And then we have Thanos here. All your usual suspects there. We got Akuma hidden in the corner here. This just looks so beautiful. Absolutely incredible. I'm super excited, you guys. I don't know if you guys grew up on these games like I did, but I promise you, if you've never played, and if you're into fighting games at all and you've never played Marvel vs. Capcom 2 or any of this series, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, probably one of the greatest fighting games ever made. It was incredible, a lot of fun, very chaotic, so much fun in the arcades. I was never like great at them or really good at them, but it was fun to play, and just going through the arcade mode, getting to that final crazy boss, that weird like lava monster thing that had like 3 phases in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but all of them were super fun, super great. I'm sure if you're like me, if you're of my age range or anything, you probably played a lot of these games on arcade emulators and stuff over the years, just trying to get back to be able to play those games. But the fact that we have online ranked matches, casual matches. You'll be able to play this game with other players now. That is a game changer. That's huge. And the fact that they're including this whole collection, I think they probably could have released Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on its own for like $40, and people would buy it like crazy. They would snap it up like candy. So the fact that we're getting this entire collection, really, really cool, really awesome. I definitely think I'll be picking this up to play on streams sometimes and have some fun with you guys, because this collection was incredible. Again, not having modern controls, that it is what it is, but with these games, it didn't matter, man. You always had so many supers and tag teams. Like, yes, if you're playing against a player who knows how to do like unlimited throw you in the corner and just like you don't even get to play the game, they just keep their never-ending combos going and stuff like that. Sure, you're not going to beat those players, but it's fun to play in single player. It's fun to play with friends. It's just a fun game overall. This collection is incredible. It's huge, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you're as excited as I am. If you've played these games in the past, let me know in the comments down below your favorite out of the collection. If you've never played these games before, let me know which of the games you're most excited to check out for the first time. And I will catch you all in the next one. Dubious ones, that'll do it for this one. Deuces.